please do that. I want to start off by talking about or highlighting the fact that the coronavirus is still out there in our communities, and I usually take part of this message every town hall to talk about remaining safe and so on. But you see, even in New York State and certainly around the country, that people are continuing to unfortunately kind of push the envelope a little bit. And in other states, you see what's happening is you're getting an increase of cases. So you're going to see me hopefully continue to talk about the reality that even though that the rates in our community, Western New York, are down. I look at, as some of you may, the state website and the Erie County website every day to see what the positive cases are. And fortunately, in the last week or so, they've been under about 50 a day, and that's with a lot of testing going on, much more than 2 or 3 months ago. So the cases are slowing, but we're not out of the woods by any means. And to highlight that, I can tell you that a hospice nurse that works within our community, doesn't work for us, but works for hospice, but obviously comes in and attends to at least one resident within the communities. I'm not going to say where, but that nurse tested positive for COVID over the last couple of days. At the same time that she was, in fact, caring for somebody that is on hospice at Canterbury Woods. So, clearly those are the realities that we face as a community, as an organization, and amongst our residents, day in and day out. Our caregivers and other folks that are necessary, that do a wonderful job for the residents, but aren't even our employees, whether that's hospice folks or private duty aides, companion aides, and so on. Luckily for hospice, they have to test their employees as well. So we get regular tests and regular results. So what do we have to do? Well, again, we do our contact tracing. We make sure that anybody that has potentially been in contact with anybody that tests positive, whether it's a staff member or somebody that works for hospice, people get tested, and so on and so forth. And I've talked about that on an ongoing basis. But this is just an example, another example, and I don't say it to scare anybody. I say it to continue to put forth the reality that even though we are opening up a little at a time here at Canterbury Woods, and certainly within New York State, and trying to conceptualize what the next ongoing evolution of that is going to be, whether it's through socialization, dining, as we've talked about, other things, the virus is still with us. And it still affects everything that we do and the decisions that we make here at Canterbury Woods each and every day. Moving on, I have Adam Simzak, who again I've talked about she's doing the taping, but he's doing our sales, he's our sales counselor. And July is shaping up to be a really busy month at Canterbury Woods. So he's looking at 7 move-ins, possibly. He's giving me a hope sign, which would include 5 possible here in Williamsville and 2 at Gate Circle, which is fantastic and a reflection of the vibrancy of our community, our ability to continue to move forward as a community despite what's going on with COVID and so on, which is great, obviously. And so a lot of thanks goes to Adam, the work that he's done, his team, Stephanie Davis-Reese, who many of you know, and many of you, she moved you in, and Lisa Wood as well. So they really continue to do a remarkable job. We've kind of transformed a lot of our marketing to more of a digital approach. I know that many of the residents down at Gate Circle participated in a virtual happy hour last week, the week before, and that went very, very well. They all got drinks, which is cool, makes everything better. And so those things have been very successful. So we're going to be busy despite what's going on in COVID. People are going to be moving in. I can tell you, I think probably the first thing people are going to say is, oh my God, new people are coming in. Well, they will be quarantined initially. The movers will be kept very, diligently focused on the individual apartments and so on. But keep in mind, we've had vendors in all along. We still have work being done in the community. So even through this whole COVID epidemic, we've had plumbers and electricians and on and on and on, HVAC folks continuing to do work in the community. So having movers move through won't be much of a change for us. And we'll be diligent about making sure that they're only going to those apartments or patio homes, and that they're wearing masks and so on. And then when the new residents come in, they will have to be quarantined for a certain period of time before they will be out and about. But we hope that will be very, very short. I also want to take a moment to mention Linda Marino, who's our Sales and Marketing Director. As many of you know, Linda, worked with Linda. Many of you know that she had open heart surgery several months ago. She's doing well. But clearly, as somebody who has had open heart surgery, Linda, she's being very cautious and conservative, as we are encouraging her to be. So she's going to remain at home for the time being, obviously being safe, and we're using her for some stuff behind the scenes. So we continue to wish Linda well, and look forward to the day when she's going to be back with us. I want to review the rules again for the new drop-off pickup procedure, because I think, from what I've seen and experienced, I feel like I need to. So again, family members, etc., call ahead the day before to Dawn Wilkes. Her number is 929-5160. So if somebody wants to come and pick up their family member, loved one, a resident of Canterbury Woods tomorrow, here in Williamsville, they would call today. And they would get on the list, and they would be let through security, and so on. If they want to come and pick up their family member, resident, loved one on Saturday or Sunday, they would call Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, so on, to make sure they were on the list for Saturday and Sunday. There's been some confusion with that, and it's led to people not being happy because they haven't been let in the building, but want to continue to make sure that the residents and any family members that end up watching this, you have to call ahead in order to be on the list, in order to be let in the buildings. You cannot come in the buildings. You can't come in the this is visitors. You can't come in the buildings to drop stuff off. You can't come in the buildings to drop off groceries or packages or anything like that. If you take your resident or take your loved one out shopping, which is probably something that you might do, and they can't handle the items that are purchased themselves, meaning bring them into the building, as you're coming back to the community, you can leave them at security. Leave your groceries at security, leave whatever at security, come in, drop off your resident, your loved one, and we will go out to security and bring them up to their apartment. That's been the procedure all along, even before we allowed villagers back on campus. So please take advantage of that. Again, also, you cannot visit on the campus yet. We're going to continue to move forward and continue to hopefully open things up more and more, where maybe that's possible, and some other things. But again, we're going to take baby steps with that. If you have any questions about that, concerns, don't hesitate to email me, rwallace@echa.org. A few other things now that, and this is more specific to here in Williamsville, now that construction has started to ramp up throughout Western New York, and people that, or other vendors who may have furloughed their employees or start bringing them back, the folks here are going to see some work being done. Today we have people or vendors outside repairing the metal flashing on the building. So we have several pieces off that have flown off, and it does happen throughout the winter months, so that's going to be done. Starting later this week into next week, all the pergolas and fencing that is original in front of Cambridge is all going to be ripped out. And we're going through the process of putting all brand new pergolas and fencing and so on in front of the main entrance at Cambridge. We did a lot of that work in Bedford last year. We didn't do the fencing. The fencing there is being done as well. So Bedford will have a brand new white picket fence somewhere down the road here soon. And Cambridge will have all new pergolas and also a new white picket fence there, so that'll look great as well. Just to update everybody on the skilled nursing project, again, work that is ongoing. We're adding 2 additional skilled nursing beds. That project actually started about 6 or 7 months ago. It's slated to wrap up sometime in August. So again, you continue to see work on our campuses as necessary, and more work will be happening as we have access to people that actually do the work, the vendors and so on. So starting really right now and probably throughout the rest of the summer, you're going to see a lot of activity, mostly outside here in Williamsville, and move-ins at Williamsville and at Gate Circle. So thanks everybody, have a great day.